All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you all are having a good day so far. I wanted to check out this video by Jonny Arnett. Popped up on my feed here a couple days ago, and it's titled "An Honest Conversation About LeBron's Longevity." Now, I value Arnett. He seems to be a very honest dude. You know, anytime I've even just like kind of commented back and forth with him, he seems to be what I gave him the nickname, a truth seeker, and I value that. So especially here in the YouTube sphere where everyone has like a straight up agenda, like it's really good to see somebody who's just out there getting facts, you know, and not trying to prove something emotionally, you know what I mean? And he has his favorites, and actually I agree with a lot of his favorites. And, you know, that's just the way it should be. You know, we should have our favorites, but not bash. It's not that we can't bash. It's the fact that we shouldn't fake things in order to bash other players. And you guys know what I'm talking about when it comes to like all the Jordan hate that's come out in the last couple of years. And like the whole like we done with the 90s and we done with the 80s crap. You know, Arnett came out and battled against that because it was just filled with nonsense. And you know, so I value this kind of stuff a lot. But anyways, I'm not gonna ramble here. Let's see. Arnett, you've got 192 subscribers. I don't think you need my help here, but if you guys haven't checked out Arnett's channel, I'm going to link the original video down below in the description so you can watch this without my commentary. Highly recommend it. His backlog of videos is fantastic. Yeah, everybody else, please leave this video a like, and yeah, it helps out a ton. Let's do this. Still the coolest intro I've ever seen for basketball YouTube. I'm curious about what his take is going to be about this longevity stuff, because I think it's overblown.
LeBron Ramon James, one of the greatest basketball players in the history of the game. He's about to enter his 22nd season in the NBA, and he's still arguably a top 10 player in the game. If you need any proof of that, just look at the way he's been performing for Team USA this summer, and the way that other stars are leaning upon him to get it done. Over time, LeBron has become the model of longevity and consistency. But yes, even that is an aspect of debate with some of the more recent accusations. Personally, as a guy who grew up in the Bay Area of California during the prime of Barry Bonds, I've learned the hard way to take aging greatness with caution.
Yeah.
But let's just put those concerns aside and take...
Me too. For us older people, we've seen this before, and it never ends well. It usually ends with cheating. So yeah, let's keep going.
Take a moment and assume that LeBron's career is completely clean, and his long-standing greatness is only due to his incredible genes, athleticism, and conditioning. LeBron has made 20 All-NBA teams throughout his career, which is easily the most of all time. LeBron has been an All-Star 20 times in his career, which is also the most of all time. He's the NBA's all-time leader in total.
Why does that annoy me so much when I see him do this? Like, it really annoys me beyond any celebration by any player in any sport I've ever seen. This really annoys me.
Total points and playoff.
You're not the king of LA, buddy. You're not the king of LA. Go talk to Kobe. Go talk to Magic. Hell, even talk to Shaq. Talk to Kareem. You're not him, man.
Points by significant margins.
I'm sorry.
In total points and playoff points by significant margin.
8,000, 40,000, yeah.
He's averaged at least 25 points per game for a whopping 20 consecutive seasons, which is easily the longest streak of all time. Now consider this. Only 6 players in NBA history have ever played at least 21 seasons in the NBA. Those players were Kevin Willis, Robert Parrish, Kevin Garnett, Vince Carter, Dirk Nowitzki.
Dude, Dirk did it? Dirk made it to 21. Holy crap, I didn't know that. Vince, yeah, he was that guy just wouldn't stop. He was still hitting jumpers all the way to the end. Awesome player. I didn't know KG made it 21 years either. That's insane. I lost track of him those last couple of seasons once he went over to Brooklyn, and then he went back to Minnesota. Robert Parrish, I'm not surprised. By the time the Bulls got him, like, this guy was so old. And yeah, we called him the Chief for a reason. Kevin Willis is a big surprise, too. That's crazy.
And of course, LeBron James. Take a look at the numbers of these players in their 21st season. And now, take a look at the numbers of LeBron's 21st season.
Oh, my God. Yeah. All right, Johnny. I'm with you on this. Yeah. It's hard for me because I just... it's like once... If there was evidence of Barry Bonds juicing while he was breaking the home run record, I would have immediately just stopped being excited about it. But I didn't know back then. I didn't know. I was younger. I didn't know about these things. I didn't know how to look for it. I didn't know the signs. So I was like super hyped up about Barry Bonds. And then also what was going on with Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa when they were going to war for breaking the record. And then it turns out they were all juicing. So it didn't matter. And when I see this, like, this makes sense. I'm 42 years old. This makes sense to me. Like, you're still producing a little bit, but you're not producing that much. But yeah, this doesn't count. 5 games. Oops. But this is the most realistic. 76 games. So he showed up to work almost every day, put up 7 points, couple rebounds, played about 17 minutes. That makes sense. This doesn't make sense, especially with this big head. This just looks like steroids to me, guys. I can't get excited about it.
As you can see, the comparison is laughable just to look at. So with all of this being said, am I really daring to ask the question if LeBron's longevity is actually starting to hurt his legacy? Yeah, it's something I'm considering. Let me ask you, dear viewer, is there ever a point where LeBron's longevity can actually hurt his legacy?
I'll answer, because I'm actually surprised it's worked out this way. But if he doesn't win... If he's not out there winning anything outside of like mid-season tournaments or whatever, that's trash. But like if he's not winning any championships, I guess, or like MVPs, it doesn't mean anything. He's just out there playing, So I think it is hurting his longevity. Like if he were to retire after he won that championship in Cleveland, like if he would have just walked away from the sport, I think there would have been... As far as his legacy goes, there would have been a lot more conversations about, holy shit, maybe he was the guy. But now it's been 8 years or what? Is it 8 years? I don't know. It's been a long time since then. And he's just kind of out there, Yeah, he won in the bubble, but not a lot of us consider that a real championship. So, and ever since then, he's like either missed the playoffs or crawled into the playoffs. He's barely there when it counts. So I think the longevity is hurting him, as it would be as if Jordan played for the Wizards until he was like 45 and he never won anything out there. Like, barely made the playoffs like LeBron is doing. That's how I would compare it. But the fact that Jordan just did it 2 years just to come back, play, pass the torch, prove that he can still compete, and then walked away again. I think that was much better for his legacy. And even there's a lot of Jordan fans, even family members of mine, close friends, who think the Wizards years stained Jordan's legacy. I don't feel that way because he accomplished more than everything he needed to do to be the GOAT by the time he did that. So he wasn't out there chasing. But LeBron is still chasing Michael Jordan's achievements. He is still chasing 6 championships. So it's different, It's different. Jordan came out there to play for the joy of it. LeBron is out here still chasing the ghost of that man in Chicago. So, yeah, I think this does impact his legacy. And I think it would be best for his legacy to just retire. But I think he's going to probably do it after, maybe one season with Bronny, play with his son, and then his legacy ends that way.
Here's essentially what I mean. When I think of the greatest players in the history of sports, I think of guys who dominated their eras with winning. In basketball, Michael Jordan won 6 championships in the span of 8 seasons. In golf, Jack Nicklaus won 18 majors.
Yeah.
And Tiger Woods won 15, including the Grand Slam of all 4 majors consecutively. In boxing, fighters like Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson were undefeated for extended periods of time.
Crazy.
In the NFL, Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls, which is more Super Bowls than any NFL franchise.
Yeah.
But
I compare this one with my friends because it's like, imagine, okay, Tom Brady is celebrated as possibly the GOAT of football. And that's mainly because of these 7 Super Bowl wins. The longevity of it all, how long he lasted out there, when it's combined with this type of winning, yeah, now we're looking at something really special. But I'd like you all to think about like another quarterback that made it very far. Off the top of my head, maybe Brett Favre. I'm not sure how old Joe Montana was by the time he retired, but let's stick with Favre because I know he was old as hell by the time he retired with the Vikings. It's not like if he played till 50, but he wasn't winning any championships. Because what did he have? 1 or 2? I think he's got 1. I think he's got 1 ring, possibly 2. But either way, nothing close to 7. But if he played until he was 50 and just kept racking up passing yards, so he's gaining stats, but he's not actually winning any Super Bowls. It's not like because he was 50 and he broke the record in pass yards, he's going to surpass Tom Brady. It doesn't work that way. So that's how I feel like that's LeBron James right now, is just accumulating stats, accumulating points, but not winning anything. So it's not helping his legacy.
Which is more Super Bowls than any NFL franchise. But then you look at LeBron
so
James.
Crazy.
And by the time his new contract is up in Los Angeles, he'll have played 23 seasons in the NBA. We're potentially looking at 4 championships in the span of 23 seasons.
Yeah, that's not good. That ratio is terrible. Like, let's do some simple math here. 4 divided by 23. That's a 17%. Yeah, that's not good.
That's an average of 1 championship for every 6 seasons. So I have to ask, is that dominance?
No, it's not.
Sure, it's impressive, but is that the winning frequency of a player who should be called the greatest player of all time?
No.
Think about how many great players didn't get to eat during Jordan's dominance in the 1990s. But then you look at LeBron, and seemingly everybody got to eat during his long era. I understand that basketball is a team sport, and looking at championships alone to determine a player's greatness...
It is a team sport. However, after he won in Cleveland, he called himself the greatest of all time. So he's individualizing it, so it's okay to take him as an individual here, Johnny. He started this.
Is rather shallow. But when you're looking at a superstar player who switched teams numerous times to be in better situations, and when you're looking at a player who has a reputation of building stacked teams the exact way he desires them, and that only translates to 4 championships in potentially 23 seasons.
Can you believe this group only won 2? It's still unbelievable to me. I mean, they had freaking Ray Allen in the corner. What the hell? How did these guys only win 2?
That's when I start asking if the longevity is actually hurting. Here's something else to consider. Yes, LeBron James is the NBA's all-time leading scorer with over 40,000 points.
Yeah, and Kevin Durant's the all-time leading scorer in the Olympics. Cool. But even Kevin Durant admitted it's because I've been here for a long time, So, like, if we're taking averages, PPGs, that's where I think that matters more than, you're all time, But yeah, like at least KD has the nerve to say it. Yeah, it's just because I've been here for a long time. I've been to a lot of Olympics.
And many LeBron fans are now using this to claim that LeBron James is the greatest scorer in NBA history.
It's funny for a pass first guy.
At first glance, that seems like a decent argument. But the problem is that they're almost never consistent with their logic. LeBron James is also the NBA's all-time leader in turnovers.
Yeah.
And second place isn't even close. In fact, in the last 3 seasons of the NBA, the league-leading average of turnovers in a season is 295.
I got to tell you, Johnny, one thing that sticks with me is the fact that he's all-time leader in turnovers, but he's not the all-time leader in assists. But he always promotes himself as a pass-first guy, like a playmaker. That's not a good playmaker then. That means that's actually, I hate to say it, that means you're a terrible playmaker because you're leading the league in turnovers. You're leading the NBA history in turnovers, but you're nowhere close on the assists. So you're not doing much playmaking, but he has the scoring, which is why I stick with it. He's a score first guy. He's just not good in the clutch, so he puts up that narrative, I'm a pass first guy, so he can avoid those pressure situations.
This means that LeBron has an all-time turnover lead over second place that's greater than 2 league-leading seasons worth of turnovers. By the same logic that LeBron is the greatest scorer because he has the most points, LeBron is also the most sloppy player in league history because he has the most turnovers. As always, I believe the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Yes, he has the most points, and yes, he has the most turnovers. But both of those number 1 rankings are mainly due to his insane longevity. My point is that you can't simply have it both ways. You can't endlessly praise him for the scoring record while simultaneously ignoring turnovers.
Absolutely. And you can almost cancel him out.
Can't endlessly criticize him for the turnovers while ignoring the scoring record.
Yeah.
You have to take the good with the bad.
Absolutely.
And the bad with the good.
Yeah, that's why I compare it more to assists, because if he were to lead the lead all time in assists and turnovers, at that point you go, yep, that's absolutely fine. That's a wash at that point. That means, he's been playmaking for a long time. Same way if he was the, I know I'm going to crack jokes about it, but when he becomes, when he breaks Kobe's record for all time in missed shots, missed field goals, that actually makes sense too. So to be the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, plus you put up the most bricks in NBA history, that makes perfect sense. But this right now doesn't really make sense. Most turnovers and most points, not most assists. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing here.
Here's the thing. That's not the only negative record that will end up on LeBron's legacy. As things currently stand, LeBron James is not the NBA record holder for the most missed shots of all time, but he will be as soon as the very first game of the upcoming regular season. At the time I'm making this video, Kobe Bryant has the most missed shots in NBA history with a total of 14,481, and LeBron James is only 5 missed shots behind him at 14,476. This means that assuming that LeBron James will be healthy and active, he will almost certainly be the all-time leader in turnovers and missed shots by the end of opening night for the Los Angeles Lakers.
That would be a fun bet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to put up 5 bricks that game.
As a Kobe Bryant fan, I understand full well that this record doesn't inherently make the guy a bad player. But I also remember dealing with those criticisms from LeBron fans for years. And guess what, guys? That becomes your critiques to deal with in a few months. Ultimately, LeBron's longevity is impressive, but it's getting to a point where he's not just accumulating the positive records, but negative ones as well. Of course, he's done some very impressive winning throughout his career, but the longer his career goes on, the more images we have of him losing rather than succeeding.
And the more we see him jumping up and down and complaining and charging refs and all kinds of stuff.
Even if I look at a guy like Michael Jordan, he came back to play for the Wizards. And I'm one of the biggest advocates for the fact that Jordan's Wizards years were actually impressive from a pure basketball standpoint.
Bro, me too. These 2 years were an absolute gift to a basketball lover like me. Man, I would take 50-year-old MJ too. I was actually kind of hoping for it. Like, it's just cool to see him out there competing.
But if we're being honest, did it help or hurt his legacy? Of course it hurt his legacy. Even the most passionate Jordan fans agree on that. MJ had the perfect storybook ending in Chicago, where he ended his career with a 6th championship and a 45-point performance where he sealed the title with his iconic game-winning jumper.
Absolutely. But my point here is that, and I made this earlier, is that Jordan, it was a different thing. He wasn't chasing anybody anymore. He didn't come back out of retirement to the Wizards hoping that he can add on to his legacy with more championships. He didn't care. He didn't care after he won 3. After he won 3, he was already like, I'm good. Magic never did it. Bird never did it. I'm out. You know? But then he was like, he saw the Bulls struggle and all this stuff going on. And he was like, all right, screw it. I'll come back. And he won 3 more. And then he walked away. My point being is he was not chasing anybody anymore. He was done. He was good. His legacy was solid. And yeah, that was a perfect image to end a career on with that shot on Russell. But the guy just wanted to play. So I think, you know, once you've established your legacy like that and you're done, it's no longer like a sad thing that, oh, like old man's coming out to play. No, it's like a celebrated thing. It's like, oh man, the GOAT's coming out to play a little bit today, huh? Cool. Okay, let's play some ball with the GOAT. But if he had like 2 championships under his belt at that point and he kept coming back, I think that would look differently. That would look more like what LeBron is doing, chasing around, you know, chasing for rings. I also think if Jordan would have gone to LA or Portland at that time, it would have looked a lot different, because then it would have been like, why is MJ out here chasing rings? But he wasn't out there chasing rings. I do admit, though, it does hurt his legacy, 100%. I'm just more thankful for it, because those were some fantastic years that he put up there, and he had nothing left to prove other than to himself.
It doesn't get any better than that. But he decided to come back, and we had to see a lesser version of Jordan in a blue jersey. We had to see him tear his meniscus and witness him miss the playoffs in back-to-back seasons. I'm happy for MJ that he got to scratch that itch.
Me too.
And spend more time playing the game that he loved. But from a legacy standpoint, sometimes less is more. This is where I'm at with LeBron James. Yes, he's an incredible player. Yes, it's remarkable how good he still is at this age. But at a certain point, I absolutely believe that the longevity can start to hinder his legacy. Of course, it's up to LeBron. He can play as long as he wants. And I've never been one of those guys who likes to tell people when to hang it up. I'm just saying that from a legacy standpoint, playing as long as possible is not always the kindest to aging athletes.
Whoa, what is this, you guys? What is hyperbaric chamber? What is this?
Even the biggest LeBron James fans can admit that 4 championships in 17 seasons is more impressive than 4 in 20.
Yeah.
Or 4 in 25. Or even 4 in 30. At what
this image? Oh my God. Was this AI? we might be seeing this. We might be seeing this. Holy shit.
What point does it all start to weigh a legacy down? So you heard my thoughts, now I leave that question up to you guys. Is LeBron helping or hurting his legacy by increasing his longevity? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Good stuff, man. Good video by Jonny here. I agree with... I don't think there's anything I really disagree with what he's saying here. I like how he brought up the era dominance as far as GOAT contenders, because I stand by it. It's, from when I was watching basketball, we had the 80s, which was Bird and Magic dominated the 80s. They split. 90s, Jordan dominated the 90s. We know that, 6 out of 10. And in the 2000s, we had Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant splitting the 2000s. And 2010, 2020, that's all Steph Curry, man. Steph Curry dominated, Golden State Warriors. And now we're here in the 2020s, and we don't know yet if there will even be anybody who dominates this era. We'll find out. but at no point was LeBron James dominating an era. He never did it. So how can you be the greatest of all time when you didn't even dominate your time? Anyways, I'm going to leave with that one, you guys. Johnny, great video. I don't know if you're going to watch this one. Hope you do. Let me know what you thought about my reaction. If you do, check this out. Keep up the good work, my friend. You're doing great out here. And that intro is so cool. I want to steal it. Just kidding, man. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your opinion is on this. How do you feel about LeBron's longevity? How do you feel about, what Johnny brought up? Like, is he hurting his legacy at this point by continuing to extend his career? Do you see what I see when it's like it kind of looks sad that he's out there chasing rings still at this age? He hasn't quite given that up, as opposed to just like a Michael Jordan out there for the Wizards just enjoying the game in his final years. Like, let me know what you guys think about all this, and I'll see you all in the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. If you do, I'll see you tonight. Thank you all so much. Have a peaceful day, and I'll see you for the After Dark tonight, all right? Peace out, everybody.